Good morning students of class 6. Today we are going to revise chapter 5 of history, the rise of Buddhism and Jainism. We all know that these are two important religions. So in ancient history of India, in ancient time of India, how these two religions emerged? Definitely there would have been some circumstances. Definitely there will be some problems in a religion which was practiced before these two religions. That's why these two religions emerged. Okay, so during 6th century BC in India, in Hinduism, in the religion of Hindu, many rituals were introduced. As we know, in Vedic period, many sacrifices were introduced in the religion, many rituals were introduced. Okay, so all these things made the religion very complex, and for common people, the people who were poor, it was very difficult for them to be in the Hinduism religion because they could not afford such expensive rituals. Okay, that's why there was distraction from the religion of Hindu, and they were looking for another religion. We all know that during later Vedic period, caste system was also introduced. So in the society, there were differences among the people, like Brahmins, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Sudra. So there was no equality among the people. And this became the integral part of Vedic period, Vedic society. Yes, and we also related the caste system to the religion by mistake. That's why, due to the rituals and due to the caste system, these things distracted the people. And when many thinkers saw this kind of adverse situations in the religion, they started thinking to find the solution for these kind of problems. Yes, so some of the thinkers, they went and meditated for some time or long period, and they found the solution. Yes, they came back after the meditation and they give back the solution of these problems. Among them, the two important thinkers were Gautam Buddha and Mahavir. Yes, now we are coming back to the early history of Buddhism. Yes, because Gautam Buddha founded the religion Buddhism and Mahavir founded the religion Jainism. So today we will talk about Buddhism. So Gautam Buddha, Gautam Siddhartha founded this religion. So let's see about his background. Actually, he belonged to a Sakya clan. His father was a chief of Sakya clan. So in early days of his life, he led a life of luxury. He was also married to a princess Yasodhara and also had a son named Rahul. Yes? So you will be thinking that what were the things which made up the mind of Gautam Siddhartha to leave his home, to leave his all this luxurious life, to leave all the worldly possessions. Yes? So initially he was just leading a life like the other people. But when he saw an old man, a sick man, and a dead man, he thought, he realized that there is suffering in the life. And when he saw an ascetic, a monk, then he realized that the sufferings can be ended. Yes? You might be thinking that by seeing an old man, sick man and dead man, he realized that there is suffering, and when he saw an monk, he found the solution how to solve these kind of sufferings. Yes? It's very easy, because someday we all will become old, and either you are rich or poor, we all face many difficulties in our old age. Nowadays, our own family members, they don't look after the old people. Yes? At present time you will have heard that there are many old home centers. Some of us, they leave their old parents and they go to those centers, and then they just end their life in such a bad situation. Yes. So if we have to go in that age, if we have to suffer such kind of things, then it is wise not to just realize that what is the need of hating someone, of what is the need of doing wrong in the life, what is the need of doing wrong with others. Yes, that's why it's better to leave all these kind of worldly possessions, and it is better to lead a austerious life. Yes, sick person, suppose we have money, but money cannot treat a sick person. Money cannot overcome the problems of the sick person. Up to certain extent it can, but a sick person, suppose we are not in the position to stand up from the bed, okay, and before becoming sick we just do such kind of things, rights and wrongs. Yes, and finally if we have become sick, so what is the need of the lust the need of just making harm to the others to lead a good life? When we become sick, then we realize such kind of things. Yes, dead man, the final destination of every individual. After all, we have to depart from here. So that is the truth. Okay. So if someday we have to go from this earth, why we are just doing wrong things? Okay, we will go alone. Not even our family members, our own child will go with us. Yes. So we do everything to fulfill the needs of our family. We do all good and bad things for our family members. But they will not go with us now. The money that we earn will not go with us. We will go just alone. Okay. So that was the reason, I think, which made Siddhartha Gautam to think that what is the use of such kind of luxurious life. He was a prince. Okay, he will also become old. He will also someday die. Yes, he will also become an old person. Such kind of things came into his mind, and he decided to leave his all the materialistic things, all the luxurious life, even his family members. And at the age of 30, he decided to leave his home. And when he saw the monk, he realized that a monk, he has left all his things. So suppose if I am alone, if I have no desire, because I am monk, I have nothing to do with all such kind of materialistic things. I will not work, I will not make harm to others to fulfill my needs. So it is better to live auspicious life, because it says us to stop doing the wrongs. Because there is no use of doing wrongs if we are a monk, because we have nothing to do. We just pray to the God, we just meditate. We have realized what is the reality actually. That is why the monks become monk. Yes. So all these things, I thought it came into the mind of Gautam Buddha, and he left his home. Yes, the birth year I have left in 563 BC. He was to born. Okay, at Kapil Vastu near Lumbini. Okay, so it is very important. The 563 BC. Okay, so finally he left his home at the age of 30, and he wandered for 6 years here and there, and during this he felt many difficulties. He even didn't take food or water for many days. Okay, finally he sat under the tree of people at Bodh Gaya, and there he meditated for 49 days. Meditation. Completely distraction with the world, and completely involvement oneself, completely involvement with the soul, and the soul is the God. Okay, just do it. We can also do it. If we meditate, the right things come in our mind. Yes? So, after 49 days, he got the knowledge and he got the nirvana. Nirvana, it means he got the knowledge, and after that he became Buddha. Buddha means the enlightened one, means Jnani, the one who has knowledge. Yes? Okay. So at Bodh Gaya, under the tree of people, he meditated and he became Buddha. There only he got the Nirvana. Yes? After that, when he got the knowledge, he decided to spread his message to the people. Because what is the use of such kind of knowledge which is just stick to one person? If we have something, it is humanism that we should distribute. We should give it to the others. Otherwise, we will be selfish. We will be called selfish. Yes. So, at first, he gave his speech, his teachings, his learnings at Sarnath in Varanasi. Okay, so it is very important. The Buddha gave his first speech at Sarnath in Varanasi. After that, he wandered here and there for 40 years, and he gave message to everyone, and he delivered his message in Pali language, which was the language of common people, because he wanted to convey his message to each and every person. Yes, that's why he decided to preach in Pali, the language of common people. Yes, suppose anyone is delivering a speech in Sanskrit or in English, and we people are not familiar, the common people are not familiar with those intellectual languages, okay, elite languages we can say, then what is the purpose of giving such kind of messages if the people don't understand? Okay, that's why he decided to give in the language of common people. Okay, and many became followers of Buddha, and in this way his teachings after his life, we can say, were recorded in Jataks and 3 Pitaks. So these are the 2 books in which there are teachings of Buddha. So it is also very important, Jatak and 3 Pitaks. Mahatma Buddha, Gautam Buddha, he was died in 468 BC. Sorry, 483 BC. 563, 483 BC in Kushinagar, at Kushinagar in Uttar Pradesh. Okay, so this was some of the information regarding Gautam Buddha. Still, we have to talk about him. The more important things are still left. So after that, we are going to talk about the split in Buddhism. Yes, before that, we were talking about the first preach at Sarnath, In India, he moved here and there and he spread his message not only in India but the teachings of Buddha or the Buddhism religion has spreaded to the foreign countries also, in Central Asian countries, in China, in Southeast Asian countries like Myanmar, yes, Sri Lanka. So everywhere Buddhism is spreaded, and that is the importance of this religion. Yes. So now come to the topic that Buddhism also divided into two parts, that was Mahayana and Hinayana. Mahayana means larger vehicle, Yan, Maha, bigger vehicle, Hinayana, a small vehicle. So those who followed the ideology of Mahayana, those who became followers of Mahayana, they started worshipping Buddha in the form of idols or a sculpture, yes, or we can say in the form of images, and they believed that Buddha is the incarnation of a god. But the Hinayana followers of Buddhism, they regarded Buddha as the religious teacher, and they worshipped Buddha in symbolic form of lotus. So that is the difference between Mahayana and Hinayana. Okay. Now the four noble truths that was proposed, said by Buddha, and they are very correct, we can say. The first truth, noble truth, he said that there is suffering in the world, definitely. No one looks happy. If you go to anyone, he will come up with some kind of problems. Yes. Despite of having a lot of wealth, the person is not happy. So definitely there is some suffering in the world. The second noble truth, he said that there is cause, there is reason behind the suffering. Okay. And the third one, the third noble truth, he said that the cause is desire. Yes, very important thing. The cause is desire. And the fourth noble truth, he said that there are ways to end the desire. Yes, and by following the Ashtangic marg or eightfold path, we can just win over the desire. Okay. Suppose I want to become something, this is my desire. Until and unless it is not going to be fulfilled, I cannot be happy. Yes, I will suffer mentally. So like this, all people in the world, if they are not happy, the simple reason behind that is they have some desire which is still not fulfilled. Okay. And if we follow his eightfold path, then our desire will be gone away forever. So there are 8 things. That's why it is called eightfold path. The first one is right thinking, right speech, right means of livelihood, right awareness, right meditation, Okay, some of I have forgot. Okay, it is all given in the book. So by all, suppose right thinking, right speech, right act, right meditation, right means of livelihood, if we are right in our every approach, the truth definitely we will come to know. Yes, that what to desire, we should just do our work. If it is fulfilled, it is well and good. If it does not, okay, no matter. Okay, so if our thinking is right, then why we should desire for this thing, that thing? Okay, because nothing will go with us. We have just talked in the beginning that when he saw monk, he found the solution, that how the desire, the sufferings can be ended. Yes, but at the same time, Buddha did not say every person to become a monk. Yes, because to run this earth, it is essential to get married and not to live a monk life, not to become a monk, but to lead a married life. Yes, that's why he proposed a theory of middle path. Yes, middle path, madhyam marg, neither to live in luxury or not, nor to give up all the worldly possessions. Yes, we should have enough to just lead a good life. Don't think that everyone will become like Ambani or Jeff Bezos. Okay, and there are many richer person in the world. Okay, so that should not be the aim of the life. Okay, because when we suffer now, then only we realize the reality, the meaning of the life. If someone has born in the family of a rich family, he cannot realize. Everyone is not Buddha. He was also very rich, but he realized. That is the exception. Mahavir also, but not the common people can realize this. Okay, so not to live a luxurious life or not to live very such kind of life which has a lot of suffering. Okay, so middle path he suggested. Yes, so we have done the Four Noble Truths. It is very important. We have done Eightfold Path. It is also very important, because by following this we can just end our problems, we can end our sufferings. Okay, this is the path, this is the 8 things, Eightfold Path. By applying in our life, we can end our desire, which is the cause of all kind of sufferings. After that, he rejected the caste system. It means he thought that every human being is equal. Yes, he did not discuss about God. He believed, he had faith in humanity, in humanism. It is very important thing. He did not say that there is Shiva or Vishnu, like the Vedic period. Okay, so it is a very important thing. He was also against the violence. Okay, like we can say that Mahatma Gandhi, he also followed the principle of non-violence. So he also was one of the disciples of Buddha, we can say. Yes. So non-violence he adopted and he gave teachings. He also said that we should not lie, we should not steal anything, we should not kill any living things. Yes. So these were the teachings of Lord Buddha. And three jewels. Three jewels, it means dharma, then Sangh, and the first one is Buddha. Buddha, it means knowledge, then dharma, then Sangh. Okay, so these are the three jewels of an individual. But by mistake we think that the gold jewelry, diamond jewelry, if we wear, if we put on our body, we will look beautiful or handsome, whatever. But the three jewels are the knowledge, then dharma, and then Sangh. If we are enlightened one, if we are walking on the right path, if we are doing the right things, and if we live in the company of good people, enlightened people, these are the jewels of an individual. Okay? So we have to learn from the teachings of Gautam Buddha. Okay? Though we follow the religion Hinduism, okay, follow your religion, but the rituals, the bad practices that is made, that is entered in the religion, we should avoid them. Okay? And we are secular, so we should not just stick to one religion, we should take the good things from other religions. That's why, that is the reason these chapters are being taught to the students. Okay? So we should learn from this. Not only that, after just revising all the things, you just wrote on the paper, you got the marks, matter ends. It is not like so. Okay? So the teachings what we have discussed, it is very, very important if we want to lead a good life. Yes, if we want to set an example, then we should definitely follow such kind of things in our life. That is all about Buddhism. Okay, so the chapter is long. Jainism is left. The similarity between these two religions, why this religion declined. Some of the topics are left which I will try to cover in the next video. Okay, and after that your exam is going to be started. So some of the chapters that we are not in the position to revise because of lack of the time, but we have finished those chapters just these days. So I think once you will do the self-study, okay, you will collect all the things once again very easily. So thank you, have a nice day.